Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at 5 starts now.
Live at 5 o'clock, 6 people inside this home when 3 men wearing masks storm in.
They have bottles, they put gasoline in them, they put pieces of paper in them, and they light them and then throw the bottle.
Tonight, the victims tell us why they were targeted.
Not just frost, but freeze warnings up all across the area tonight. We'll tell you how low those temperatures are going to dip. Devin?
All right, Ben, we're going to begin, though. Breaking developments this afternoon in the UAW strike against General Motors. We have just learned union leaders have voted to send the tentative deal to the rank and file. A big development just to hear in the last 10 minutes or so.
Huge indeed. Leaders of UAW locals all across the country have flown into Detroit to get a first look and see if the deal is good enough for the rank and file to approve.
Now, it's a process, though, that is far from just a rubber stamp. They arrived at the RenCen this morning. Let's bring in Rod Maloney, who's been covering it for us throughout the day. Bring us up to speed here, Rod.
Yeah, Devin, it's been a long and difficult day inside the meeting. In fact, we're expecting them to come up here for a press conference here in just a couple of minutes. But what we do know is, yes, in fact, they have approved the tentative agreement to send it to the rank and file. Now, they also voted to make sure that the rank and file will stay off the job, on the picket line, and that's going to continue. And they hope to have this done. They have a deadline of ratification for next Friday at this time. So that's what we know. It's been very contentious outside the meeting room, but we've heard from 2 separate UAW local presidents that is in fact what has happened. They'll be coming to announce it here. But let's talk about what's in the contract, what it is that they've approved so far. Here is what is in the deal. When it comes to the contract, right out of the gate, the numbers are big. The signing bonus for full-timers, $11,000. For part-timers, the temps, bonuses at $4,500. Next is a long reviled practice changed for the annual profit-sharing bonus check. GM agreed to eliminate the $12,000 cap, so they should grow larger as profits do. As for pay raises, alternating years will have a bonus and then a wage hike. 4% lump sums in years 1 and 3, 3% pay raises in years 2 and 4. The union said it wouldn't budge on its best anywhere health care, and it didn't have to. There are enhanced benefits at no extra cost. There's much more here for temporaries. Full-timers qualify for permanent status by January 6, 2020. Part-timers can qualify under certain rules by January 1st, 2021. They also get 40 hours paid time off and 24 hours in unpaid time off to use. The in-progression walk to full-time pay comes now in 4 years instead of 8. By September 24th, 2023, permanent manufacturing employees will make $32.32 per hour. And has been the practice for quite a while now, GM is sweetening retirements for certain older work groups. Right now, for 2,000 production veterans and 60 skilled tradespeople, there's a $60,000 bonus to be had if you retire by the end of this year or through the end of February. Now, the local presidents have come out of the room in the last 5 minutes, and we have been told that it got very contentious down there. And part of the reason for that is because the Lordstown contingent came. There were about 30 members of UAW Local 112. 1112. And they came to town because they didn't even want to vote on this national contract unless they had a product. Well, that didn't happen. And in fact, we've talked to some of the members there. They're deeply disappointed and very frustrated by the situation. But as the presidents came out of the meeting this afternoon, apparently the Lordstown Shop Committee chair had words with some of the other local presidents. He's still very angry about the situation, some raw nerves down there. So we have some video of that, and we'll certainly show that to you when we can get that in. But in the meantime, we're waiting for the UAW Vice President Terry Dittus and also Media Relations Director Brian Rothenberg. They'll be coming here and maybe bringing with them a few of the other national negotiating team members to sort of sort out what the deal is, confirm what it is that we've already told you, that they expect to send this now to the rank and file, and that they have Friday, the next Friday, as the deadline to have this ratification go. Now, one of the things that has stuck out to me in all of this is that there are some things in this contract that have been exceptional, including taking the cap off of the bonus checks. That's one of the things that we've heard consistently that people are very upset about. And so by changing that is a huge difference in this contract. So we're still waiting for them to come up here and hold the press conference. When they're back, we'll be back. So, Devin, back to you.
Well, and finding a path on the temporary worker issue seems to be a breakthrough, too. But, Rod, this is the longest that we've seen a strike go in some time. And I guess the question I would have is how much fatigue is there on the line? And does that play into saying, well, yes, let's take this because we've had enough?
Well, you know, Devin, one of the things that struck me throughout this entire 31-day strike is that the rank and file have been steadily talking about the fact that they back their leadership. They believe in their leadership, and whatever it is that the leadership says is the deal is what they're going to give them. And so I think that there's a pretty good chance now that there is going to be a ratification. Now, incoming into the room right now, that's Brian Rothenberg. He's the head media relations person for the United Auto Workers. And it looks like they're getting ready to come into the room here and hold their press conference. So let's hear from Brian Rothenberg right now.
Sure.
Good morning.
Or good afternoon.
All you guys in the room, there's all kinds of rumors. It was a very interesting day today. I'd like to, first of all, introduce myself. My name is Brian Rothenberg. I'm the Director of Public Relations for the United Auto Workers. We just finished a meeting of the UAW GM Council. I believe most of you have gotten some of the highlights that we have put out today. You will be receiving a press release shortly that the UAW GM Council has voted to recommend for ratification the contract. However, they have also recommended that we remain on the strike line until the vote on ratification. Ratification meetings will start on Saturday, and they are expected to have their ballots turned in on a week from Friday or 8 days from now. So, I need to, first of all, on behalf of the UAW, thank our UAW GM members and their families who have put in overwhelmingly sacrifice. They have made an incredible effort at showing what union is. They have stood on the lines together because they stood up for things that they felt were important and continue to do so. Their leaders are incredibly grateful, I can tell you that from the meeting, and incredibly, profoundly impacted by the overwhelming support of the community, of the different cities that we are in, of this nation. This strike actually became more than just a strike for the UAW. It was about the hearts and minds of American workers and the middle class. It was an outpouring of support that I think President Jones and Vice President Dittus said they will never, ever forget. It was that profound. And we thank people for all the goods and services that they've given us, their friends and their neighbors, for the outpouring of support. As you know, we went on strike over the issues of a path to permanency for temporary workers, job security, fair wages, affordable quality health care, and a fair share of the profits. I will go through some of the highlights that you already have seen that are on uaw.org. The contract gives full-time temporary workers a shortened path to permanent status and into a regular status of a job, and improves their paid and unpaid time off for temporary workers. We would hope that this contract, once our members weigh in, and they are the ultimate authority, but regardless of what this contract ends up, that this issue dealing with permanent temporary workers is the beginning of the end of permatemps, not only in this industry, but in this nation. There will be no change to the health care plan. There will be a ratification bonus of $11,000 for hourly workers and a ratification bonus of $11,000 for salaried workers. The cap has been lifted on profit sharing. Many of you know that GM has made $34 billion in profits over the past 3 years. One of those years they exceeded $12 billion in profits, and they were capped, so our members could not share in those profits above $12 billion. It adds money to their personal savings of $1,000. It provides a progression for all current workers to $32.32 in 4 years. It shortens the progression time, and all of the current employees that are regular employees would be at $32.32. It provides wage increases of 3% gross wage increase, 2 years, and 4% lump sums. The skilled trades will get a $1,000 tooling allowance. The legal services benefit plan now includes spouses and additional services. Vacation has been enhanced. Many of our members would be forced to use what little vacation they had when they started, 2 weeks, during the shutdown in July. They will now only have to 1 week, and they will have the option with the other time to use it or go on layoff where they can get unemployment. And there are bonuses built in to this contract for eligible production workers up to 2,000 who retire between December 31st of this year and February 28th of 2020. So I will take a few questions. At this point in time, I want to emphasize that, as you saw today, the UAW is a democratic union. Our members will make this decision, the members of General Motors. That is the commitment of Vice President Dittus and President Jones, and that is what will happen. And understand that it is their contract, it is in their hands, and the decision has been made that they will stay out until the ratification day. And that came directly from the leadership body downstairs. One other issue, while we were in our meeting today, Aramark hit a TA, tentative agreement. Rod?
Brian, did you get the specifics on how it is that the ratification will roll out? In other words, is it going to be the same as usual, where there's an educational session and then there's a vote, or will there be education sessions and votes on the same day?
There's education sessions that are being scheduled around the country. They start in the regions. They will also be in each of the locals. The local unions help set that up and help set up the election times. Those are all run by the local unions. And the instruction will be in a letter that you'll probably see. I'm sure it'll be on Facebook, because everything is these days. But I believe there will be an instruction going out to all the local unions later today, and it will explain.
You're listening to Brian Rothenberg, spokesman for the UAW, outlining there just a bit of what is in this tentative agreement, which the UAW leadership has now decided that they are going to send on to the UAW membership for a ratification vote that has to take place before next Friday. Obviously, he was just sort of running down what's in the contract, but I think it was unmistakable that it seems that Brian Rothenberg, at least, is pretty impressed with what he's seeing so far in it, talking about this, especially this issue about temporary permanent workers being not only an issue for the UAW and General Motors, but he sees what's in this agreement as maybe having national ramifications for the American manufacturing picture. So we'll continue to follow the reaction to that. If you'd like to continue watching the news conference as it goes on, we will stream that for you at clickondetroit.com. Obviously, our Rod Maloney, who got the first question in there, will continue to cover what's happening, and we will have more reaction to it as this now filters out to the UAW membership, but perhaps an end in sight here to what has now been a 31-day strike against General Motors.
All right, some more breaking news to get to right now. Verizon customers are dealing with a network outage. Verizon users in Michigan and throughout the Midwest are reporting trouble sending text messages, making phone calls, and using LTE. Verizon says it's aware of issues and working to get things back to normal. We've got a lot more to go on this.
I was going to say, it didn't stop a robocall from just coming in while I was
So you're
talking a second
okay.
ago. So it's still working for me, yeah.
Here's Ben.
Potholes and robocalls. You just can't put an end to them, can you? 54 is where we sit right now. We've got those freeze warnings tonight, but if we can get past that, we've got a fantastic weekend ahead. We'll look at all of it for you next.